We are here at one of the most famed tracks in all of motorsports, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. And here from the NASCAR Authentic Hot Wheels Cup Series, the final race before the playoffs get underway. Now let's take a look at your drivers to watch here at Indianapolis. Ryan Newman has a really fast car this weekend and starts on pole here today at Indy. Can he get his third win on the season and take a big advantage heading into the playoffs? Kyle Larson starts fourth today, but is only 7 points above the playoff cut line. He needs a good performance today to lock himself into the playoffs. Can he do that today here at Indy? And finally, Alex Bowman, after a poor run at Bristol, Alex Bowman's looking to bounce back and lock himself into a playoffs with a good performance. He's only 9 points above the playoff cut line. Can he have a good performance today and lock himself into the playoffs? Now we're going to take a look at your playoff standings right before Indianapolis. There are 3 drivers who are locked in on points, which is Boyer, Suarez, and Logano. But then through the 9th through 15th spots, they're all separated by only 20 points. Anything can happen there, and those are the cars who will be trying to fight for their final spots. Now we're going to head down to the GoPro on-track car. This is a lot like the Michigan track, except a little bit longer. They will go down a long straightaway, and then they will hit the fat track, which there's not much room to pass, so you got to make your passes wisely if you want to make a move. Now let's head trackside for the command to fire engines.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome the president and CEO of Big Machine Records, Scott Borchetta.
Welcome to the Big Machine Vodka 400. Are you ready to go racing? Let's get it on. Here we go. Drivers, start your engine!
The engines have been fired and we are ready to go racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Your pace car driver today is the Hot Wheels boys. They will be driving the Indy 500 oval car. It is very appropriate for an Indy car to be leading the NASCARs down this famed raceway. We are now ready for segment 1 to get underway. Here we go. In row 1, we have the 6 car of Ryan Newman and the 18 car of Kyle Busch. In row 2, the 21 car of Matt Crafton and the 22 car of Joey Logano. In row 3, the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. and the 1 car of Kurt Busch. And rounding out the field is the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Ryan Newman is going to take home this segment win as he pretty much dominated the entire segment. But that's not the car we're worried about. Joey Logano fell from 4th all the way to last. Good thing Joey Logano is locked into the playoffs, or this would be a terrible points day for Joey Logano. It's not good for a car who is a playoff contending car to finish last in a segment. As Newman finished 1st, Crafton 2nd, Kyle Busch 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, Denny Hamlin 5th, Kurt Busch 6th, and Joey Logano in 7th. Now we're on to segment number 2. In row 1, we have your points leader, Austin Dillon, and to his outside is Alex Bowman. In row 2 is Clint Boyer and the 81 car of Eddie Gallagher. In row 3, the 9 car of Chase Elliott and the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. Then rounding out the field is the 20 car of Eric Jones, who will take home the second segment win. Austin Dillon will take home the segment win, but it looked like Clint Boyer and Alex Bowman had a shot, but never really converted. Here, Alex Bowman tried to take home second place. Went up high to block Clint Boyer, but Clint Boyer crossed him over and went low to pass. Then this lap, Boyer got a great jump, but could not complete it. Fell all the way back, and Dillon managed to get back out front and take home the segment win. Eddie Gallagher managed to sneak through back to second place on that last lap. Dillon first, Gallagher in second, Bowman third, Boyer fourth, Elliott in fifth, Jones in sixth, and Kevin Harvick in seventh. Now we are on to segment number 3. In row 1 is the 2-car of Brad Keselowski and the 24-car of William Byron. In row 2, the 10-car of Eric Almirola and the 8-car of Daniel Hemrick. In row 3, the 01 car of Vinny Nightlife and the 31 car of Ross Chastain, who's making his debut. Then rounding out the field is the 95 car of Matt DiBenedetto and the 13 car of Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon has some mechanical failures and will not be able to continue the rest of the race. He was never able to get to the fat track, so he's out of the race. We still have 2 laps to go. Brad Keselowski manages to lead every lap in this segment and take home the segment win here at Indy. Now, Daniel Hemrick managed to get up to second, which he is one of those bubble drivers who need some points to get in. A great job by Hemrick to work his way up to second, and now he has a chance of getting into the playoffs. So Brad Keselowski finishes first, Daniel Hemrick second, Byron finishes with an impressive third, Eric Almirola fourth, Vinny Nightlife 5th, Ross Chastain 6th, and Matt DiBenedetto in 7th. Now we are on to segment number 4, the last segment before all of the placing races. So in row 1 is the 42 car of Kyle Larson and the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. In row 2, the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson and the 41 car of Daniel Suarez. In row 3, the 17 car of Stenhouse, who really needs a good run, and the 43 car of Bubba Wallace. Then rounding out the field is the 28 car of Joseph West and the 35 car of Brendan Poole. Now, for some strange reason, there were only 3 laps in this segment. There was no reason why. There just must have been an accident in lapping. But Kyle Larson's going to win the segment, and did it profoundly, leading every lap of these 3 laps. And Ryan Blaney is going to manage to get second after sneaking through a wreck that looked like Daniel Suarez and Jimmy Johnson got it. Larson first, Blaney second, Suarez third, Johnson fourth, Stenhouse fifth, Joseph West 6th, Bubba Wallace 7th, and Brendan Poole in 8th. Now we'll take a quick break and be right back with the rest of the race. Do you want to be a ninja like this guy? Well, you should stop by the Ninja Cafe. The Ninja Cafe is your only place where you can eat with ninjas and train like one too. So stop by the Ninja Cafe, 12345 Japanese Way in Denver, Colorado. We'll see you there. We are now ready to start the 6th and 7th race, which will be led down by Kurt Busch and Eric Jones. Which one of these 8 cars will move their way up to the 4th and 5th race? Bubba Wallace is barely out as he falls onto his side, and only 2 tires are on the track. It looks like Logano and Harvick will also have to go to the back because they fell off the track. 1 to go. What just happened? 3 cars wreck out here at Indy. We have seen no wrecks so far up until the Bubba Wallace one. But what happened? Looks like Chastain gets a jump, gets a push by Joseph West, and the outside lane must have just shoved down Eric Jones and DiBenedetto, and they're out. Kurt Busch finishes first, Chastain finishes second, West third, and Joey Logano with a very bad performance in fourth. Now we're on to the fourth and fifth race, which Stewart Haas teammates Clint Bowyer and Eric Almirola are going to lead them down, followed by Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. And just like that, Kurt Busch is out of this race. And it looked like that Vinny Nightlife must have came low and tried to pass, but ended up there was no room for Kurt Busch. We got one to go. We don't finish the lap, but that doesn't matter. Clint Bowyer still is finished first and is going to move on to the seconds and thirds race. Good job by Clint Bowyer to get the jump. Must have just got loose or something and is going to have the entire field stop. Bowyer first, Almirola second, Jimmy Johnson third, Elliott fourth, Truex fifth, Stenhouse with a terrible performance will probably not make the playoffs in sixth, Hamlin seventh, Vinny Nightlife in eighth, and Kurt Busch, who wrecked out earlier. We are now on to the seconds and thirds race with Ryan Blaney and Matt Crafton leading the field down. The 8 car of Hemrick and the 81 car of Gallagher have really good chances of making it into the playoffs now that Stenhouse had a terrible run. Can they manage to get into the main event and work their way to a playoff spot? Matt Crafton's going to win the seconds and thirds race, but it's because of the outside lane on lap 2. It's the first time all day that the outside lane has worked like that, and it managed to get Crafton, Bowman, and Suarez up to top 3 positions. They managed to hold those for most of the entire way, and then Kyle Busch worked his way through the inside to pass Ryan Blaney. About gets wrecked by Hemrick, but manages to get into the main event. Matt Crafton first, Bowman second, Suarez in third, Kyle Busch fourth, Blaney fifth, Hemrick in sixth, Gallagher in seventh, Byron in eighth, and Clint Bowyer in ninth. It is now time for the final stage, which will be led down by the 6 car of Ryan Newman and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Then behind them, the 2 car Brad Keselowski and the 42 car Kyle Larson. Then in row 3, the 21 car Matt Crafton and the 88 car of Alex Bowman. Then rounding out the field is the 41 car of Daniel Suarez and the 18 car of Kyle Busch. The Kyle Busch is the only car who is eligible that is not in the playoffs. Could he make a miracle win and manage to make his way into the playoffs? Ryan Newman's going to get his 3rd win on the season after a dominating performance here at Indy. The only time that he had trouble was lap 3 when Dillon about passed him on the outside, as you can see here in the instant replay. It was very close as Newman barely got it ahead of Austin Dillon. Then on lap 4, Ryan Newman put it away by getting a big gap in front of everybody else to take home the win and get his 3rd win on the season. He is going to be a car that no one's going to want to mess with as they get into the playoffs. Newman first, Keselowski second, Dillon third, Suarez in fourth, Larson in fifth, Bowman in sixth, then Crafton in seventh, and then Kyle Busch in eighth. Now it's time for the Danny's Donut Shop victory celebration as Ryan Newman's going to put it down and kiss the bricks here at Indianapolis. Ryan Newman sets his car on top of the bricks and wins here at Indianapolis. A dominating performance by Ryan Newman. He is a car that no one's going to want to mess with as we head into the playoffs. Now here are your finishing positions for Indianapolis. Ryan Newman gets his 3rd one this season. Dylan, another top 5, and same for Keselowski. Crafton, a 7th place finish, is a good performance by him. Hemrick and Gallagher 10th and 11th is going to probably be good enough to make their way into the playoffs. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 18th will probably not be enough for him to advance. Now in the lower positions, Joey Logano, a terrible performance. He's going to hopefully improve that next week at Kansas. So now here are your drivers advancing on into the playoffs. The 3 car of Austin Dillon, the 2 car of Brad Keselowski, the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, the 6 car of Ryan Newman, the 14 car of Clint Boyer, the 41 car of Daniel Suarez, the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson, the 22 car of Joey Logano, the 88 car of Alex Bowman, the 42 car of Kyle Larson, the 81 car of Eddie Gallagher, and the 8 car of Daniel Hemrick. Great job by those guys to get themselves into the playoffs and have a chance to win the championship. Now here's your final look of the regular season points. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was only 5 points out, so 5 positions that he needed to get into the playoffs. He just misses out as he was looking like a strong contender for a while to get into the playoffs. Now here are your playoff standings before Kansas. Ryan Newman has the most points with 1,026, but he's only 22 points above the cutoff line. So if anyone has a bad race, then that points value will drop drastically. As you see, a lot of cars along that from 7th to 12th, only a gap of only 8 points. So anything can happen as in the playoffs. As Ryan Newman gets it done here at Indianapolis and gets his 3rd win on the season, the next track we head to is the Kansas Speedway, which will be in for a lot of excitement. There will be only 2 races in the round of 12, so those drivers will have to be smart. I'm B North, and I'll see you in the next one.